So I just sat here and recorded this video already. Well, I was halfway through it, only to find out that my mic was muted. I have to re-say everything that I had already said. So we're gonna go through this quick because I did ramble in that video, so maybe it wasn't meant. So I was randomly looking up the Renaissance. Well, I wasn't looking up the Renaissance stage. I made a mistake and looked up the Renaissance stage. The original Renaissance theater popped up when you look up Renaissance stage, and I said that, or I've seen and heard from other people that when you look up the like things that Beyonce is doing and it has like other pictures on it, when she adds the titles and names of her stuff, that it also pops up now as you do the research on them. So when I was looking up the Renaissance stage, I was originally supposed to be looking up the Cowboy Carter stage, but I got confused and just looked up the Renaissance stage. And like I said, the old stage popped up, and I talked about in the last video, which is the first video of me explaining the stages, and I wouldn't have did this if I didn't come up with this theory, which I'm gonna later talk about the Cowboy Carter stage. But I forgot where I was supposed to be. Oh, I talked about in the last video how if you look at the Renaissance stage and you look at the top of the ceiling, like the ceiling of the Renaissance theater, the original Renaissance theater, like this, you will see the circles that looks exactly like the circle that's within the Renaissance stage. And I talked about how the circle and everything like that connects to the patriarchy and the matriarchy. But I just add this because I added this with my theory that I'm originally about to say, because I wouldn't have made this video because that video is already an hour long. But I made this video because I found this theory later on after recording that video. But I don't remember if I said this already, but I said this before. When she said this is theater at the end of Cowboy Carter, I later found out or figured out that that would have been the transition into Renaissance if Renaissance was Act 2. And I came up with that after I had already had the theory that the red curtain, which is this one, had a significance to Act 1, which is Renaissance. I just kept seeing her take pictures in front of the red curtain. Well, I kept seeing pictures of her in front of the red curtain, and I'm like, this have to, have something to do with what she's doing, because you just keep seeing the red curtain. And now we know, because she did the red curtain on the Cowboy Carter stage, and then y'all know, if you've seen it, that the red curtain falls. Like, it falls on the screen. But I feel like that's when it was originally supposed to start, saying this theater and then going into Renaissance, which actually has a theater named the Renaissance Theater. So that was my theory for that. I said that already. If y'all haven't seen me explain how I feel like the other stages, or well, the Renaissance stage and the Cowboy Carter stage, my other theories about the Cowboy Carter stage before this one, then you could go check that out in the video of me explaining the genius behind Beyonce stages. I mean, her stage designs. So going into the actual theory that I'm really want to get into is that I just randomly seen this and noticed this the other day, that the Renaissance, I mean, see, I be getting them confused. I be doing it every time because I done scrambled Renaissance being number 1, Renaissance being supposed to be number 2, Cowboy Carter supposed to be number 1. I'll just scramble it in my head. So that's why I be saying the other over the original one. But the Cowboy Carter stage, I later realized is a triangle. Like, I know we know that this is a triangle, but I'm like, it's a bigger triangle. The smaller triangles within the bigger triangle. And so I was just randomly on my iPad, and then something told me to turn the iPad upside down, lock the screen, and then turn it upside down to actually look at how she did the arrow. Like, the arrow is going up. And it's crazy because I later noticed while recording this video the first time, but it being muted, that she separate the two right here. In the Renaissance stage, everybody is like one circle, like nothing separate. So stage being like this, and it's being Act 2, and it's separated in two different sections. Crazy how this Act 2 originally supposed to be Act 1, but it has this. You would think that I would have figured this out because I figured out a lot of stuff about the Renaissance stage. I didn't have much about the Cowboy Carter stage, only that I feel like it's like the buttons to the PlayStation controller because of the shapes, and the shapes that I said Kendrick is also using, which is the same shape she's using. The triangle, the circle, the square, all of that. But I was just looking at this. And like I said, I just said that, okay, I know that people saying that the stage is a guitar, a star guitar. I know that this is an arrow as well. I know that this is a smaller triangle. And then I know that the triangle on the screen is connected to the triangle on the floor. So that's all that I described in that video. But when I later looked at this, I was like, hold on, it does make sense. The only reason why I figured, now I just thought about it. The only reason why I feel like I didn't notice that it was a smaller triangle within a bigger triangle is because if you look at the Renaissance stage, it's built the same. Like it's still like going like this, but it's a circle in the middle, like this. It's like this, it's a circle in the middle. This circle is more at the top. So that's why I was just looking at the triangle, the smaller triangle rather than a bigger triangle. And the stage being longer than the Renaissance stage up until this point. So let's keep going. I said that it's a pyramid and a triangle at the same time. And then if you look at this pyramid, you see that it's 3D. Like that's why I'm like, nah, when I looked at this, I'm like, this not no, like when you look at it, it's not no regular triangle. It looks like a 3D triangle. And I'm gonna tell y'all why, because if you look right here, y'all know that the star starts right here. This is the start right here. But if you look right here and really look up, okay, that's a triangle. But then you look right here and then a line going up. It reminds me of looking right here and then a line going up. And what does the line go up to? This part, the top of the triangle. But this line is what makes me think that the Cowboy Carter stage is a 3D triangle. I even added it for y'all to see. Like it looks like a 3D triangle. You're still looking at that line, the line. And then how they are. If you look right here, like this is one side, this is another side of the triangle. And then this is the 3D line. Like the line to show that the triangle is 3D. Now, if you want to go even further, we could look at the stage right here. Look, like you can see it. You can see it. And then I added the triangle right here. I added it next to it. And then I added it on top of it. So y'all can see both of them at the same time. Yeah. So, like I said, this is just what I see. It's art in itself. So when I say that it's art in itself, what do they say you do with art? You dissect it in a way that you see fit. Like people see art in different forms, like in different ways. So that's just what I think though. That's just, like I said, it's just my theory. But this would also further proves my theory because I already said this and I said that I will be creating a future video where it represents the patriarchy and the matriarchy. But I always go back to this picture, and I know if y'all watch my past videos, then y'all will know that I always go back to this picture. But my theory was already that the Renaissance stage, which will represent this circle, and the Renaissance stage being a circle, representing feminine energy, femininity with the matriarchy. So I feel like she was taking the power back for women in that. And then if you think about it, the original order would have been Cowboy Carter, which is to me a representation of masculine energy if y'all really pay attention to it. And the triangle, her including the triangle, also shows that it's the masculine energy. It was a masculine energy concept surrounding it. And then you could tell that the circle, they are going hand in hand with patriarchy and matriarchy. And I said that if Cowboy Carter was first, that would have been the patriarchy. That would have been the masculine energy, not patriarchy. That would have been the masculine energy. So it would have been Cowboy Carter, masculine. Renaissance, feminine. And her bringing back the mother. And I explained that in the video that I talked about with her and Kendrick and what they are doing. And they both are using these shapes. So this just shows what I said about the matriarchy, the patriarchy, and how the matriarchy is a circle and the patriarchy is a triangle. But then I go and look up the Egyptian pyramids, and you notice that it's a tan or sand color. But what I also notice is that it's gold. Like it's a tan color and it's a sand color, but it also looks like it can represent gold. And you look right here, you can see like you will make that gold. Like if you was using a crayon and coloring or something, you would make that brown, but like it will be like a gold color. And then I looked at the Renaissance. I mean, not the Renaissance. Oh my goodness. I looked at the Cowboy Carter lyric videos, and what do you see in a lot of the lyric videos? You see that the setting is also in a desert. When you go back to it will be the video that I haven't put out yet. I will be uploading a video breaking down the Levi commercial, but the first video that I will be doing about the Levi commercial, if you go at the beginning of that video somewhere, you will see that I added the picture of how she has that the setting was in a diner in the second, I think it was the second, was it the second? The second Levi commercial when she was in a diner. I think it was the second. I think it was the second Levi commercial when she was in a diner. On the run when she was on the run too, when she was in the diner with Jay-Z and the man was holding the basically the most wanted newspaper with their faces on the back. And then it was the third, well, the On the Run 2 would have technically been the third time, and the Levi commercial would have been the last time. But the first time it happened, me going in the order of when this stuff was released. The first time it would have happened was in the telephone video. That all three of those, which okay, let me go in order now because that was unorganized. It was the telephone video, it was the On the Run 2 teaser, and then it was lastly the Levi commercial, the last Levi commercial. All three of those, I mean not the last Levi commercial, the diner Levi commercial. The diner Levi jeans commercial. You notice that all three of those are in a diner. And all throughout the Cowboy Carter tour, she teased a telephone. And I also talk about how I feel like 6 inch, which is the first video on this channel that I posted. I talked about in that short video how I feel like 6 inch connects to Act 3. And if you go look at Act 3, you will also see that she uses a red curtain. You will also see that she used the red light bulb like how she did in Renaissance. And you will also see how she kept teasing a telephone and a cowboy on the telephone within that music video. Not only the cowboy, but other people on telephones within that music video. You will see. So that's how I feel like that is coming for Act 3. But throughout Act 2, Cowboy Carter, in the interludes and everything like that, you could see somebody on the telephone. You could see the telephone being in a triangle and her being over the triangle. I think I talked about that. Which video was that? I think that was that video. That video, if you go look at it, you will see all of the clues that I found within her using the telephone, teasing the telephone. Not only that, but she made the telephone noise within that same interlude within that tour. So she's teasing telephone. But what me bringing up how the setting of the diner was also me pointing out, going back on topic, that the diner was within the desert every time. Every time the diner was in the desert. I mean, I don't know about the Levi commercial. I don't know if that was a desert because we didn't really look. I didn't really see outside. But for the On the Run 2, that was the desert. You could tell by how they was driving towards the diner in that video. And then we know them driving towards the diner after they left the police station or the prison within the telephone video. But I know them two for sure are in the desert, the setting in the desert. But throughout Cowboy Carter, if you go through the lyric video, like I said, you will see that it's also desert based. Even when she teased it during the Super Bowl, when she posted the picture when she posted that video of her driving in the cab announcing the tour that day, you could also see she's driving through a desert. And y'all know when they looked up at the billboard, and then throughout the Renaissance tour, she also showed she was a giant in that same over that same billboard. But it being desert, like Cowboy Carter being desert based, and the triangles being in a desert based area, I don't feel like that was, you know what I'm saying. And on top of it being a representation of masculine energy or the patriarchy, I don't feel like that was a coincidence. I don't know. Maybe I'm just overthinking. I don't know. But this was me just showing gold pyramid. Okay, now let's get into the money aspect. And like I said, I later figured this out. Well, I later noticed this. This is just what I see. But I already created an hour-long video explaining the stages, but this was just an extra one because I explained more of the Renaissance stage than the Cowboy Carter stage. But I didn't find this theory until after. But if you look at the money, and we know how the money is intertwined within Act 2, and I'm gonna tell you when we get into it more. But if you look at the money, you will also see it's a triangle. And I also said did I say it in that video? I don't think I said it in one of the videos that they basically demonize triangles. When we have ancient triangles right here, you know, saying by just slapping the eye on there and saying it's Illuminati. That's just how they demonized it, which I wouldn't even want our ancient triangles to be demonized because people still love to go and visit the triangles and look at the triangles, and then you just, just be like, oh, if they got an eye in it, it's Illuminati, and then that just demonize the triangles because them are that like the triangles are a part of the pyramids. Let me say the pyramids, not the triangles. The pyramids are a part of history, and we know that they like are popular in around the world and traveling space. Tourist space where tourists go because it's so worldwide, and that's the same with the Eiffel Tower. That's the same with the Statue of Liberty and everything like that. That's how pyramids have like that same type of energy towards it that people just want to travel and see it. I even said it. I don't even know if I said it in that video, but I even said that it would be nice for me to see a pyramid, to actually go see like one in real time and see how big it is. Like that would be fire. But I'm always getting off topic. The triangle being on the back of the money and them separating the top of the triangle and slapping the eye at the top. And I do find it crazy how we sit here and say, oh, the triangle, the eye through the triangle is Illuminati, and they literally has it on the back of the money and currency that everybody around the world uses. Well, America, because I don't think they have it on, a lot of out of the country. This is like American money. So the money in America, they slap that same thing on the eye, and then everybody just loves money. You get what I'm saying? Like if y'all get what I'm saying, y'all get what I'm saying. But like they slap it on the money, and then we be like, oh, Illuminati, when the representation of what y'all call Illuminati is on the back of the same currency everyday American people use. That's just my theory. That's just my opinion. That's just my opinion. I don't know. But this is when I showed the money picture, and then this is the one where it's colored. Like, as you can see, the pyramid is like goldish or brownish, whatever. No, not brown, tan. But then this top part that's coming up just shining. Like you can't see it right here because it's like the green color, and it's part white, but right here is shining like it's gold, like shining like gold. And this era also being the theme around gold, that's why I keep saying stuff connects. But this is just me showing the tour stage again. But this is what I want to say. Y'all see how why I just think like this is what I want to see. I don't know why I just thought about that in my head. But like looking at that was funny how that just played in my head. I'm sorry how that just played in my head. But looking at the money, like the triangle on the money, and then y'all see how the top of the triangle is disconnecting from the entire triangle. And this is why I said they demonized it. Y'all see how, and then they slap an eye on there. It's just it's disconnecting. It's disconnected from the actual triangle. I said my theory is, what if this was her? Because you can see right here the lines are gold. Like I don't know if it's like gold, yellowish or something like that. But when you see the stage actually in this picture, you can see that the bottom of the floor is gold. Y'all know that the floor of the stage was actually lighting up. But you can see that this is the part that's lighting up, and the actual star is the part that's lighting up. And we know that the star is also like a goldish color. Like if you think about a star, it's like a goldish color. But the triangle, look, also gold. So I feel like this was her putting the top of the triangle back down on the state, like on the pyramid. This is just my theory though. This is my theory. Like I said, I be having crazy theories, but I feel like this is her putting the triangle, connecting the triangle back to the actual pyramid. Like look, it's connected, but it's going up right here. It's connected, but it's going up right here. And it's the only part that's gold right here. And then the stars gold. All right, let's keep going. So me getting on the topic of money also brings me to her using money within this era towards the end of the Cowboy Carter tour. And it's the credits right here. The Reddit credits. This is the credits of whose picture this is of the money that they got at their show in Chicago. But going into the money, y'all can also see, I said I feel like she's also bringing attention towards money being man-made. Remember I told y'all the representation of this era is the patriarchy, and money came with the patriarchy basically. Money came because men made it. Men made it. So it's man-made. And going back, I don't think I brought it up. Okay, let me talk about this because it's not right there, so I will forget. So we looking at the triangle on the back of the money, right? The back of the dollar. We're looking at the triangle on the back of the dollar, and y'all can see that she adds the triangle to the stage. The triangle is significant to the Cowboy Carter stage, right? Okay, so what she did with the money right here, I just want to bring this up. What she did with the money is added a full star. What is the Cowboy Carter stage made up of? a star with the triangle on the screen connected to that star, so making it a full star, but also that triangle being on the screen and the triangle being the arrow, and the stage outline that I just showed y'all is a full triangle itself. The real money has a triangle, right? The Cowboy Carter stage has a triangle, right? Her money has a full star. Her stage has a triangle and a full star. That's just what I realized. So she was like doing the concept of, okay, well, the money already have a triangle. I already had a triangle on the screen, the triangle on the top of the tour stage, and then a full triangle as the whole stage outline, making it the inside of the stage where fans are within that triangle. But it also is a star. The stage is also the main stage that she stands on is on star. So she added the star to the back of the money. Yep. So that was just my theory. And I told y'all that it's a representation of the masculine era because money is man made. And I feel like that's why she added that to this era instead of the Renaissance era and anything else. And it makes sense. It makes sense because she's going through like Washington and everything. Like this was very on theme. On top of her also adding, let me zoom in. I don't know if y'all can see it, but Beyonce with an I. And she also added it right here. And then she added her first name on there as well. And the rest, like her favorite number and everything like that, and her initials right here. But my last theory that I want to add with this is that I feel like she's not done. Like it wasn't just the feminine era within Renaissance. I feel like this whole trilogy is her taking back of women. Like if y'all think about it, in a lot of history, the woman has been replaced because of patriarchy. Like if you think of presidents, all of them was men, every last one, because people just feel like women can't, it's not capable. They feel like all women are good for, all we are good for is doing everything that doesn't align to what we feel like we should be doing. You know what I'm saying? Like we're not just here to have kids and everything like that. But that's going off topic. We are humans too. That's all I'm just gonna say. But I feel like her doing this, and I still say, like, I'm gonna keep saying I have to do the the matriarchy video, but I still haven't gotten to it because I've been doing other videos. But it's coming. It's coming because that's the video that I keep saying I can't wait to do. So it's coming because that breaks down how I feel like the whole trilogy is going as far as feminine, masculine energy, the red curtain theory, everything related to what I think she's doing as far as taking women's history back. And this is her putting her face on a dollar is not the only thing that I think, because she's not only claiming her original last name, but the spaces that it's just, society say, women can't be in. So that was the end of this video. That's all I wanted to say. I just had to add this part because I later thought about this theory after recording that hour-long video, and yeah, I feel like I didn't give enough. Well, I didn't have enough theories about the Cowboy Carter stage. Like, I feel like I described the Renaissance stage and how I've noticed different things within the Renaissance stage than the Cowboy Carter stage. And one thing I do want to also add is, oh, wait, I didn't even show y'all this. Hold on. Okay, I also told myself that when I make these videos, I'm going to try to drop history from videos that I see, because a lot of these theories I come up from looking at other videos, and I started putting two and two together as far as what she's doing and what others are saying about nothing related to what Beyonce is doing, but I always just, it like stuff that relates to what she's doing always pop up in my head like, hold on, because this makes sense and I feel like this is what she's doing. But let me go and add it. I'm adding this video, playing this video, because I told myself that I want to add like knowledge or history of different things that I'm learning within these videos, because not only am I breaking down what she's doing, but I'm also learning the history of being black, and the history that we have being hidden from us every day. So I'm just going to add this video to give history on what I feel like she's doing. Not only that, a lot of videos that I will be using in my future videos are related to what she's doing as well, and it also includes history. And the only reason why I'm really doing the research on Beyonce and what she's doing, because it includes our history that is trying to be erased. And that's what I'm gonna end it off with, and I'm gonna play this video.
This is the only nation with a two-sided seal. This seal you see here with the pyramid is the seal of our ancestors and our federal government that we have set up in here in this hemisphere going way back. This is the seal of the 6 European tribes that we allowed to set up here. That is why above our seal says annuit coeptis. He had favored our undertaking. I mean, it was our federal government here that was already established, what they call Iroquois Confederacy, so on and so forth, was already established, that taught them the science of government and allowed them to set up here. And here you see this flag has 6 white stripes and 7 red. And the elders taught us that those 6 white stripes stands for the British, the Irish, the Scottish, the French, the Dutch, and the German. The 6 European tribes that we allowed to set up here. And all they had initially was the eastern seaboard. The rest was ours. The elders also taught us some things. Now, I know this is going to sound crazy, but do the research and you're going to be surprised at what you find. The elders told us that the original Nile was here. Old man Mississippi. The Missouri being the blue and the Ohio being the white. Until this day, where them two come together, there's a city there called Cairo to this day. And that area is called Little Egypt. Then you go down into what the elders taught us was Alabama and so on and so forth being Lower Egypt. Then you get into Memphis, Tennessee, the Memphite theology. Kentucky, King Tut. And then you start to look a little further, and then you find out that there was an archaeological cover-up involving the Smithsonian Institute, where they found thousands and thousands of artifacts. They found artifacts showing human beings contemporary with dinosaurs. A lot of this information they put on ships and dumped into the Atlantic Ocean. Some of it they got still in hidden chambers that they say you can't go in there because it got asbestos and it's unsafe. There's a part of the Grand Canyon where they have all Egyptian names, Tet, Osiris, Isis, and they got that part blocked off. They said it's too dangerous for the people to go there.
And so there is no beginning and end. Everything everywhere is happening all at once. It's happening simultaneously. And from quantum physics, we know that this is because everything exists in a space-time of superposition, meaning it mimics everything that's happening everywhere else until you observe it. Like quite literally until you pay attention to it. So what if they've given us the Bible, right, the spell book as a religious text in 1619 when they got here to quite literally create what they told us was the past. Remember, you can only create or manifest in the present moment. You can only change the past by going back into the future, which is the present. I know this is really confusing, but don't think about time as a straight line. Think about it as a circle, right? And better yet, think about it as an infinity sign, right? And that single point, right? That point of contention where the poles shift, right? It goes from being downward to being upward. That is the core of time. And that is a single moment. I think that moment is the moment that is on the back of the dollar bill. And that is when they separated us from our third eye. They separated us from our true beginning, our true essence, our true creator. Who is us? By the way, we keep looking for God over here and over there and everywhere. It's in you, right? And that's what they separated us from, which is why the pyramid is separated from its top. The God essence, the Godhead is you. And you forgot. And they want you to forget because if you forget, they will create what is next to the pyramid on the back of the dollar, which is a repetition. It's the eagle.
She gone.